So you want to get in shape, but you're not sure what gym to go to. Should you go to the regular gym? Should you go to the boot camp class? What one is right for you? Today I'm going to be discussing exactly the 4 types of gyms that there are and which one's going to be right for your goals. So let's get this rolling. So what's your goal? Your goal is to get in shape. So when I say get in shape, I'm talking about gaining muscle and losing body fat. So remember, there's a difference between losing weight on the scale versus changing your body composition. So everybody's body has a ratio of muscle to fat. And that ratio is always going to be different. So when someone looks in the mirror, if they see more body fat, doesn't matter what they weigh on the scale, whatever they see, if it's higher in body fat, that means they're lacking muscle tissue. Whereas the opposite side, if someone's very, very lean and toned, they have more muscle mass than they do body fat. So we want to change that ratio. So when I'm talking about getting into shape, I'm talking about changing this ratio. And this is a pound of fat and a pound of muscle. And no, the muscle doesn't weigh more than the fat. A pound is a pound. But look at the difference in the size. The fat is almost double and takes up double the amount of space that the muscle does. So when I say, changing, and the goal, it's losing body fat and retaining muscle. All right, and that's important to keep that in mind, because if my goal was to be a better runner, then the answer is going to be different. So I just want to keep that in mind. But when I say which gym is right for you, that means that your goal is to lose body fat. So number 1 is going to be big box gyms. All right, so what's a big box gym? Basically, you pay rent to lease their equipment. So a big box gym is something like a Planet Fitness, a Crunch Fitness, LA Fitness, those types of places. You pay a membership fee. You have a year membership. They always charge you like a service fee in the middle of it, so maybe $100 a year or whatever it is, just to service everything. But essentially, when you go to a big box gym, you're leasing the equipment. You go in, you're paying to rent. You come in, use the machines however you want. No one really cares if you show up or not. In fact, this model here they're hoping you don't come in, because they're essentially banking on the fact that you're paying for a gym membership and not coming in. So no one cares about your form. No one cares if you get results, don't get results. It's not going to be catered to you. So I would say a big box gym is good for someone who's advanced, who's done this before, who knows exactly what they need to do, and also for someone who's self-motivated. Because you have to be self-motivated in order to get in there. If you're having a hard time getting to the gym, then it's not going to work, because then you're just paying for a gym membership that's essentially worth zero. So that's the first one, big box gym. So can it work for your goals? Yes. You can go there, do the right types of exercises. You could do the right types of machines and, with progression and stuff. So yes, it can work to get you to your goals. But if you don't have the inner drive and the inner accountability to do that, it's not the right avenue. So I recommend more of an intermediate advanced. Go to the gym and do it on your own. But again, if you could be an intermediate and advanced, but if you struggle with keeping yourself accountable, it's not the right place to go. You don't have a set appointment. Life is always going to get in the way. We know that. Some stuff with the kids is going to come up. Stuff at work. All these other things are going to show up, and it's going to keep, delaying the gym. So like me, for example, I have a life, I have kids, I have businesses, I have all these things. So life is always getting in the way for me. So I get up very early to work out. I get up at 4 a.m. and I go and I work out first thing in the morning, and then it's done. I have that luxury of being able to do that. But I have to be internally motivated to do that. Not many other people are. I'm not saying it can't be done, but it takes that inner motivation to do that. All right, number 2 is going to be boot camps and CrossFit. And they're all going to be in the same category, and I'll explain why. So boot camps and CrossFit. So these things are different. So these fitness modalities allow for 10 to 30 people in a room together working out together. Now, what are boot camps? F45, Orange Theory, that gym down the block that does like the big outdoor classes, whatever, and CrossFits. They're very, very similar in the sense like it's a bunch of people in a room getting sweaty. There's one workout of the day, and everybody does the same workout. So now here's the thing. when you're trying to lose body fat and retain muscle and change your body composition, you need to be doing strength training with progression. Now, you are going to use dumbbells here. You may even use barbells here, and that's good for retaining muscle. But the way these workouts are done, they're not custom to you and your goals, which means that the workouts are going to be subpar, because if everybody's doing the same workout, it means that the level of workout has to be easy so everybody can do it. Remember, if you have 10 to 30 people in a room with 1 or 2 coaches, there's no way that the coaches can keep a close eye on each and every one of those people to make sure their form is correct. So they have to kind of dumb down the movements, so this way you're able to actually do it without getting hurt. And also, all this basically is glorified cardio. It's not enough stimulus to build and maintain muscle. So it's just basically cardio with weights. That's essentially what this is. And we can even lump into here like cycling classes, things like that. Those are all, it's basically glorified cardio. That's all it is. And cardio is not going to be the thing that's going to help you to lose body fat and retain muscle and change that body composition. So for example, if we give our clients step goals, because it's a lot easier to give somebody a step goal. It's a lot more easy to hit long term. So if I give you a step goal and I say, okay, I want you to hit 10,000 steps every day. So you could do that with going by a walk, going for a run, jump roping, taking one of these boot camp classes. It's the same thing. Your body sees the same thing. It just sees activity. Like I said, the weights in these things are not heavy enough to stimulate the things that we need to change our body composition. So in order to get healthy, increase your bone density, be strong for the long haul, you need to be stimulating that with big movements done over time with a certain level of intensity. So for example, if we're squatting, you need to be squatting at least 70% intensity. So that means that doing something between like 5 and 10, again, everyone's different, but 5 and 15 reps with a good amount of weight. If you're not doing that, you're not getting the benefits of doing actual weight training. So that's number 2. Now here, some of the benefits here, you do get some accountability, because if you're on one of these memberships, you have a certain amount of days a week you have to come in, 2-3 days a week. So you have an appointment, you show up. Problem with this one is, like the gym, you're not getting that individual attention. These places aren't going to call you on the phone and say, hey, Mrs. Jones, are you close to your goals? No, they're going to call you and say, hey, your credit card on file expires. Give me a new card number. That's what they're going to say, because just another number on the sheet here. All right. Number 3 is, I'm lumping these together, is going to be Pilates and yoga. So many people go to these places thinking that that's going to be the thing that's going to change their body composition. The issue is, and not for nothing, I like yoga. I really like yoga as something to help improve mobility. I think it's a good relaxation type thing, and it is tough. It's not easy. Most of these things are tough. I'm not going to sit here and say that they're not tough, but there's a difference between working hard and working smart. The smarter you work, the closer you're going to get to your goals, the faster you're going to get there, the more optimal it is. So you could work hard. I could put somebody through a hard workout. That doesn't necessarily mean it's optimal. So I like yoga and Pilates for improving mobility. Mobility. Okay, mobility is your ability to move through space. So it's going to improve that mobility, which is good. But weight training does that as well. So if your goal is to improve mobility, yoga and Pilates is excellent for that. But when it comes to changing your body composition, yoga and Pilates is not going to give your body that stimulus it needs, because the load is your body weight, which is still good, but it's not enough to stimulate and signal to your body more. It's not enough to build bone density, because there's no resistance that you're pushing against. So I like yoga and Pilates, like I said. I think it's really good for improving mobility. I would use it toward your step goal for the day. So again, using that same example, 10,000 steps to get to where you need to go every day. If you want to use those steps and take a yoga and Pilates class, you can. But it's going to do very, very little for altering your body composition. One of the other things I forgot to mention when it comes to altering your body composition is going to come from your diet. 70% of your results, regardless, are going to come from what you eat. Gym's not giving you a meal plan. These places might give you a meal plan, but it might not be catered to you. It might just be a generic thing that they pulled off the internet. So we'll go maybe here. And I have yet to hear of a yoga and Pilates studio who give you a meal plan. So we're going to X that one out there. And I just want to add to this, number 2 could be boxing as well here. So stuff like that. All right, so if you're going to do yoga and Pilates because you like it and you find it enjoyable, that's excellent. That's good. Keep doing that. But you need to also add weight training and strength training on top of that in order to get the benefit of it. So do 2 days a week of yoga and Pilates, and then do 3 days a week of full body strength training routines to alter your body composition to keep you healthier and fit long term. Now, the 4th type of gym is a personal training gym. Now, I am biased to this because I have one, but there's a reason why I have one of these and not any of these other things. So personal training gyms, again, they're not all created equal, but personal training gyms are the best for people who are beginners, intermediate, and advanced who need help, tailored help to get to their goals. Meaning that Mrs. Jones walks in, Mrs. Jones is going to get a custom everything to help her get to her goals. Because we only work with people on a 1-to-1 basis or a 1-to-6 max, okay, that you're going to get a huge attention put on you. So that means that we're not calling you when your credit card expires. We're calling you every week. We're in contact all the time to see how you're doing. Mrs. Jones, you said your goal was to lose 12 pounds with us. How are we on that goal? Are we on track, off track? We're tracking metrics. We're knowing, okay, you're losing body fat. You're not losing body fat. We need to change this. We need to alter this. We know these things. So the level of customization is super high in these places because you're getting a lot of individual attention. Again, at the gym, no one cares who you are. You know, maybe you have the regulars who care who you are, but the gym itself, typically big box gyms have anywhere between 3,000 and 5,000 members total. There's no way to build a relationship with all those people. Same thing with these classes, 10 to 30 people in a room. Not really going to be getting that individual attention. So you're going to get individual attention here and stuff that's catered to you. And typically in a personal training gym, again, everyone's different, but what we do, we focus on the strength training element of it because that's what's going to change your body for the long haul. So let's say Mrs. Jones comes to us. Mrs. Jones is 55 years old, wants to lose some body fat, build some muscle, but also not go on osteoporosis medication. Strength training is the best thing to do that because we're going to build bone density. So we're going to help Mrs. Jones not only lose that body fat that she wants to lose, but we're also going to help her to stay healthy long term. Typically, they say a person who's in their 60s, if they fall and break their hip, they have a 40% chance of dying the next year from that. And that's just because of lack of muscle tissue and that little, like brittle bones, right? We want to change that. And weight training improves that. Strength training improves that. And the cool thing about this is we can do those big complex movements because you're getting individual attention. So when you're in a 1-to-1 setting or a 1-to-6 setting, you know, we can really watch your form. Mrs. Jones, keep that pressure on your heels when you squat. Mrs. Jones, keep that chest up. Mrs. Jones, let's do this. Let's reset the weight, lighten the load a little bit, put the weight back on, take a deep breath into your core. We can fine tune those movements. In a boot camp class, you can't do that. If you're at Orange Theory, all right, everyone, let's just pump. It's like a disco. It's like a club. Everyone's just motivated to move. And that's like a cool thing to do on the side. But it can't be the base of it. The base of it has to be that individual attention that you need to get to your goal. So this is why I also like intermediate, beginner, and advanced to be here, because even an advanced person can make themselves even more advanced because they're getting that individual coaching that they need. So that's the 4 types of gyms. So if your goal is to change your body composition, change the way you look better naked, seek out a personal training gym near you, because that's going to be the thing that's going to help change the way everything is for you. And you're going to be putting a way better investment into yourself doing that. If you guys like this kind of stuff, let me know below, and I'll catch you on the next one.